We now know the mistake that women make. They don't focus on their future, spousal satisfaction. They don't focus on the future marriage like they're already there and what it is like there and the things that they like. They don't create their marriages positively, consciously. They don't do that. They're not aware of themselves and what they want and what would constitute a pleasing marriage for them. They're not aware of the partner, what they want a partner for. So, I was mentioning like energetic essence. And this is a teaching on general prosperity. And this is a teaching on specific prosperity with spouses. So, usually there's a form, right? There's a form of something. Let's say, a house is a form. Where it's located, its design, how many rooms it has, the space, the neighborhood. Is there a school nearby? Is there a religious place of worship? I'm just giving an example, right? So there's a house, it has a form in the physical world. But living in that house has a feeling. There's a feeling that you have living in the house. And you want to have something that is a form that gives you the feelings that you want to feel in it. And these forms have features. Now, if you know the feeling you want to feel with a form, and you don't know the form exactly, it's okay. You can know the form and you can know the features. So you can know the feeling and you can know the features of what you want. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about, you don't have to know which house you want. Because sometimes you know which house you want, you move in, then you realize it doesn't suit you. It's not for you. Who you are is you like a special room for your golfing clubs, or who you are is you like sunlight coming in from a certain direction, and who you are is you like to be in a certain neighborhood for your children's schooling, whatever it is. So somebody can just move into a house and realize, there's a clash between me and the house. This house doesn't suit me and serve me. I like spaces, open spaces. This house is too, low ceilings and not enough light coming through. It's not south facing. It's whatever. It's in a bad neighborhood. So forms are not enough. To say I want a man and he must look nice is not enough, as we can see. There has to be an energetic essence that the form serves you in. And there are certain features that that form has. So if I said to you, soon winter will be coming in, and I realize that my other jackets are all worn out, whatever. No, that's not true. I've got plenty of jackets, right? So, but let's say somebody says winter's coming in and I want to buy a jacket. Winter's coming in and I want to buy a jacket. So the form is a jacket. It's a thing. It's a jacket. So I can buy a jacket and I can end up regretting it. See, you might want a husband, the form, and you might get a husband or a spouse or a lover, and you can end up regretting it. Why? Because the energetic essence, the feeling, is not there of what you want, of who you are, and what it feels like for you to be in that marriage, a form, with that husband, a form. There has to be a feeling, there has to be features. So, you can begin by looking at the MN is marital needs, LD is love desires, and RL is relational values. This is the formula of spousal preferences. And you can start writing that all out. And when you get more and more clear about it, you can ask yourself, like, for what purpose do I want to be married? Like, for what purpose do I want the jacket? For what purpose do I want the house? For what purpose do I want the car? For what purpose? What's the purpose? Now, some people will just say, the purpose I want a husband for is everybody else is married. I want to fit in and I want to be married. I want to stand out and die alone. I just want to get married for the sake of getting married. That can be somebody's purpose. Why do you want the form? Now, that's not going to be satisfying. You're not going to create what you want, what you desire. So why do you want to get married? What is a man for? What is a husband for? Why do you want a house? Why do you want a car? Why do you want a jacket? Why do you want whatever? So I can tell you, transport. Transport. So somebody might say to me, well, why don't you take a bus? And why don't you take Uber? Why aren't you taking an Uber or bus? Why do you want to own a car? Why aren't you taking a bus or Uber? Why aren't you getting a bicycle? Why aren't you, going on your roller skates? Why aren't you getting a motorbike? So what I want is transport. But, I want a car. So why do I want a car for transport? Why not a bicycle? I can't paddle away. It's not reasonable, practical. Roller skates, forget it. It's not considered as a mode of transport. Uber, yeah, I can do that, but I'll be Ubering every day. I'd like to actually be able to jump in my own car and be independent. I travel every day or whatever it is. It makes more sense for me to get my own car. Bus, you have to wait on a timetable and all that sort of thing. Bus doesn't go where I want to go. So I want a car because it gives me independence. That's why I want it as a mode of transport. Why do you want a house? You can live with somebody, you can get a flatmate, you can stay with your mother. Why do you want your own space? Independence. My own space. For me to do my thing in what I want to do my thing in. I want my own car. So I have independence. Do you understand? So in essence, one of the essences is independence. I want a car as a mode of transport because it gives me independence. I drive myself at the time that I want to, when I want to. Independence. Otherwise, somebody say, you want a mode of transport? I'll give you Uber, free Uber for the whole year. Yeah, but it's not independence. I still have to wait for the Uber. It won't work for me. My own car will work for me. You get what I mean? So that's an example of independence as one of the essences. The energy essence of having a motor vehicle would be independence. You want a jacket. Why do you want a jacket? Well, it's cold. I want to keep warm. So, what is the essence of having a jacket in winter? It's for shelter or warmth, covering. Right? Somebody can get a jacket, but it could be so thin and doesn't keep you warm. It's still a jacket, but it doesn't do it for you. Somebody might get a jacket and it's so thick and too hot and too heavy, it's not going to do it for you. So you want a jacket, but you want a comfortable jacket to do the job of keeping you warm. What is its purpose? Warmth. So if you get a jacket and doesn't keep you warm, it's not doing its purpose. It's not serving what it's for. Right? So you can have a house or a place of your own, but let's say you got nosy neighbors and there's noise all around and you don't feel the quiet that you want, the solitude. You're not experiencing the quietness. So what is the house for? Solitude, quietness, independence. These are energetic essences. What do you want from it? What do you want it for? What do you want to be married for? What is the reason you want to marry? You know. So if you say, I want to marry somebody so that we can do social work together, but can't you do social work with a friend? If you're looking for friendship, companionship, can't you do social work with other people that do social work? So it's a nice to have, and if it's your work and you get paid for it and your whole life is around it, you know, if you made it your purpose, then you can say, yes, social work, I'd like my husband to join me in social work. Because it's part of my life. You get what I mean? We got to be understanding what you want the husband for. What do you want marriage for? You got to be answer that. What do you want it for? What is its essence? So, okay, I want a car because it gives me independence. But what else? All cars might give me independence, but not all cars might be still suitable for me. So what do I want from a car beyond independence? Well, for me, it must be reliable. It must be durable. It must last. Okay? So you want a car and it gives you independence, and you want a car that doesn't require repairing. Minimal, one service a year, and it runs well. Reliability, and it is sound. No rust. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't fall apart. That's what I want. I want a car that gives me independence, but also peace of mind, reliability. I can trust the car. I'm served by the car. Do you understand that? These are essences of energy that you can become aware of. What do you want the jacket for beyond comfort of warmth? You know, because some jackets might be easily damaged. It might not be a strong jacket. Or it might be made out of a fabric that can get damaged quickly. Or might need more care. Or it might not be waterproof. You know, you might say, no, I want a jacket to give me comfort and warmth, but it must be durable and I must be able to use it in the rain. You know, it must be waterproof. Now it's giving you more information about what kind of form is going to suit you. You don't have to know the form. You know the feeling, the energetic essence of its value to you, and you can even know its features. What are the features of it? So, for example, my car, it's sporty. It's sporty compared to my previous car. My previous car, I just bought it. I left it in Cape Town for a long time whenever I was here, you know, to use it, whatever it is. It was lying in Durban, this one. So I kept using it. It was good, served me for who I was, but time came to change it, you know. It's been a while. So what can I choose? So I can say value for money. That it must be a car, it gives me independence, and it's durable, it's reliable, doesn't need fixing up, runs well, just a service, low on petrol, or at least medium to low on petrol, value for money, low on insurance, if I sell it, I must be able to get more or less what I paid for it. Resale value. Are you getting what I'm saying? It must be able to move. It doesn't have to move like a, you know, GTI, but it must be able to perform. It can't be a donkey. It must be comfortable. Must have music for me to listen to. Now these are all energetic essences of what I want. And that's what I put out. This is what I want, this is what I want, these are the features of the vehicle. Something that will really, these are things that will really, if it can serve me in that, it will really please me. So that once you put the energetic essences into a dream, into a desire, and you recognize the features of what you want, it changes you, your energy, your energetics, and you see yourself and feel yourself. You don't know what car it is yet, but you know the feeling you want to feel with it, and you know the features it has. You're putting it out there. That's you doing your part. You energizing what you want. You don't have to know the form. I don't know what car it's going to be. I only know how I'm going to feel with it, the energetic essences. And I know the features. Put it out there. You get what I mean? Even a jacket, even a house, a place to live. These are things. I want to live in a good neighborhood. It doesn't have to be a big place, but it must be a good neighborhood. You know, safe, security, privacy, the neighbors. These are things that are important for me. I rather compromise on size and have a smaller place in a better neighborhood where I'm more pleased. The form, you see, it comes after the feeling, essence, energetic essence, and the features. I must be able to park my car, come in and out easily, no nosy neighbors, me doing my thing, easy to get to where I want to go. These are essences: ease, comfort, convenience. These are essences that are important to me. Only thing I didn't say is the aeroplanes that fly above, which has now come to my awareness. You know, that one of the things I don't like about Pinelands, two things actually. The next place I will manifest beyond that. One is the airplanes. There's I think military aircraft base in Goodwood, so they fly past this way here. I'm sure it could have been worse. And the other thing is the industry that is nearby here in Debani. Sometimes at night they let out those noxious chemicals when people are sleeping, and I can smell it if I'm walking outside. You know, it's horrible. Anyway, it's bearable enough. It doesn't happen so often, and it's bearable enough for me to be here. But if it was any more, if it was a daily thing and an hourly thing, I would be leaving here. You get what I mean? Because then it won't be entirely suitable for me. So if you ask me how do I feel in my living space, I say good enough. Can be better, but good enough. It is satisfying. It's not entirely satisfying, but it is satisfying. I won't tell you it's very bearable or extremely unbearable. I want to be here. I might want to be somewhere else in a better space sooner or later, but I'm comfortable here. So this is a lesson about energetic essences. Like, the form of marriage, what is it for? Having a husband or a partner, what is it for? What is he for? You know, having a car is for transport. Having a garment is for clothing. You know, what is a marriage for? What is a partner for? What is the purpose you want this person for? What will they do for you? And what is the features of this marriage you want to have? And you as a person, what's going to match you? What's going to be suitable for you? What kind of person is going to be suitable for you? And this is what you make a note of. And you get into the feeling essence of it. That I want to experience a bond. I want to experience affection. I want to experience companionship. I want to experience great conversations with, well, you can have great conversations with other people too, but I want to be with somebody and be on the same level. I want to share the same interests. I want my friend to be my lover. You know what I mean? My lover to be my friend. I want to have, go out and enjoy time together. I want to enjoy satisfying sexual experiences. What is it for you? The more you clear about what it is that you feel, the essence of a marriage and the features of a partner, that's by focusing on it and beginning to hone in and feel on it, your magnetics are changing. And you are clarifying your dream, your compelling vision at a feeling level, not just as a form, because some people say he must be 6'5", he must be a welder, he must be a carpenter, he must be a doctor, she must be a model. No, that's focusing too much on the form. Don't worry too much of the form. You can focus on features of the form. He's smart, intelligent, he's a professional, or he's, good with children, he's kind, how I feel with him, what I admire about him. You can go into all those features, the experiences I'm having with him, what he's for, and you can write down these words. I feel supported, loved, admired, somebody that I can admire, sharing my life with somebody. We support each other. Life is so much more enjoyable with my spouse, my beloved, and you clarify your essences in a marriage. Once you got that, you focus on intentionality, which I'm not going to do today. Because your intention takes the dream from a compelling vision and says, I'm going to create this as reality. Intention. That I am intent. You get into intentionality. That this is something not just I put down on a piece of paper and I've dreamed of. This is something that I want to live. This is something that I'm choosing to create, intentionality. Next session, we'll go into intentionality and energizing. By next session, you should have used the resources that I've given you from the very first session of when you get up in the morning, as you go through the day, when you look at your partner, what do you admire, what do you appreciate, what are you doing, how you spend your time together, informed with all this information about the marital needs, love, desires, and relational values. You also have what qualities make somebody spousally fit. They're available, they're attentive, they listen, they participate, they contribute. We've looked at what are some of the values that you can have. You may want somebody to help around the house. You may want somebody to contribute financially. What's your relational values, your marital values? What's important to you? You might be somebody who you can be romantic with, they can be romantic with you, that you can be sexual with, they can be sexual with you. Some of us are, we have a sense of self. And we like to be ourselves, and we can be ourselves with our partners. Some of us, that sense of expression extends to sexuality, and we want to be our sexual selves with our partners. These can be important things for us. And if you get a partner who's non-sexual or got problems, you can end up feeling very disappointed, especially because sex is something we usually have with our spouses, you know what I mean? And you don't go around, finding somebody else to have sex with. You know what I mean? So these are things that are very important that you want to have, that you create yourself to have by becoming aware of yourself in that role, in that reality as a thriving wife and energizing it. But first you clarify it and you intentionalize it. I am intent. So I will say this in closing, that you can use the power of intention now to say, I intend to uncover my spousal preferences. I intend to discover that which energetic essences are going to be really valuable to me as a wife. I intend to become aware of that part of me that is a thriving wife. I intend to become aware, clarify for the purpose of shifting my magnetics, making me magnetically attractive. I intend to clarify what I want so that I can become magnetically attractive to suitable spouses. Suitable spouses are the forms that have the features that allow you to experience the essences. I intend to apply myself to attract to me. I intend to apply myself so that I can attract to myself my ideal spouse who delights me. See, so these are things we can actually intend. That I intend to do my best. I intend to apply myself. I intend to not abandon myself, my future spousal self. I intend to not negate my future spousal self. Instead, I intend to attend to my future spousal self. I intend to be available to my future marriage. You know what I mean? I intend to correct the error that I've been making, looking at what's going on and trying to get married, and looking at what's going on and trying to change it. I intend to allow what is to be, and I intend to create. I intend to apply myself correctly so that I can create the reality I desire. So I'm going to stop there and say thank you so much for joining. It's almost 5, well, it is 5:25. We're supposed to stop at 3:30, almost 2 hours after, but what else is new, you know what I mean? So thank you so much for choosing to be here and spend the whole day with us and contribute in the way that you have. I have purposely allowed sharing and responded to the sharing as part of our learning. And thank you for your participation, your contribution, your sharing. It's made the event the success that it has been. And I'm going to stop there. If anybody has any questions, or if anybody would like to share anything, I can still stick around for a while longer. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much for joining us. This first Attract Soulful Love, this first Attract Soulful Love group coaching session for the year 2025. It's the 11th day of January. All right. First thing is pen and paper. Use the formula. Look and see from your previous life experience, when you were in relationships, or if you were in a recent one, what were the things you liked about it? Because you know you were there, and there were things you liked. You felt safe with the guy was sane, he was sober, he was supportive, and he valued you. You felt contained. You know, what does it take for you to feel contained? And you felt it, the essence of containment. We're talking about essences. So get into that feeling space of containment, the essence of supported, safe, allowed, cared for. You know, all that falls into like allowed and encouraged and promoted. You know, that's the essence. You want to be with a man, but that's what you want to feel. So certain things you felt in your life with different people at different times. But that was then. You are here now. You're going forward. So, well, what wasn't there? You know, what wasn't there? Or what hasn't been there? When a relationship ended, why did the relationship end? You know, so you might realize he was nice to be with, but he wasn't fully available. He had his ex-wife and children and dramas, and he was still attached there, or, he was a workaholic and his work was more important to him. He wasn't available for who I was, for what I wanted from him. He wasn't, So what was the downside? I'd like to know if they can reply to you, Rabia, what was the downside. That would be great, because then I know. If it was so good, why did it end? What was the issue? What wasn't satisfying? What wasn't suitable? Because then you write down, like, these are the things I didn't like. These are the things were unsuitable. So now it shows, if you know what you don't want, well, what is it that you do want? So if you go back to the very first seminar, and you do have the recordings, and you work with this is where you do the work. This is what a lot of self-defeating, premaritally self-defeating women don't do. They don't want to do this work. They just want to think and talk and, ask questions. And that's fine. But you got to do the work. You got to realize, I'm here now. This is who I am. There is, for who I am today, a partner who's going to serve me, the form of which I don't have to know who it is. It can be Adam, it can be Michael, it can be anybody. I don't know. I only know that I want to marry for spousal satisfaction. These are the essences of spousal satisfaction. This is what I want to feel. This is the feature of the guy. This is what I like. I'm more focused on the dream and dreaming the dream than my stories about the past or people in my present. I'm focused on creating. So let me look at what I can draw from the past. What happened that I loved? What did I have in relationships gone by that was really amazing and I enjoyed, that I would like to have in the future? What wasn't there? Some of us realized we were with women who are narcissistic. Crazy. Lose it. They got issues. But we were the low vibe when we attracted them. But you can say, I want a woman who's not critical of me, shaming of me. I want a woman who sees the good in me and also encourages me and doesn't just say, why aren't you not like that man? Or you're good for nothing. I want a woman who just doesn't focus on my negative. She can tell me where I'm failing and falling short. We all are. Point out in a room for growth. But I don't want somebody just there to dump on me criticism, her perfectionism on me. I don't want some perfectionistic woman who's just using me for either her own. She doesn't want to be wrong, so she makes me wrong. She thinks by making me wrong, she's right. I don't want a woman with issues or a perfectionist who doesn't value me and what I do. I don't want a woman who doesn't see me for what I am. I want a sensible woman who appreciates and she doesn't take things for granted. She's not entitled. I'm talking from real life stories here. Me. So can write it down. This is what was good. This wasn't good. So how would I like it to be instead? If she was critical and perfectionistic, I would like a woman now who is aware of the good in me and validating of it and is thankful to be with me. And wherever I'm failing, she can point it out without shaming me in public and, telling me I should be like other men and all that sort of thing. I want a woman who is respectful of me, and yes, I have room for improvement, but she can ask me and make requests instead of being self-righteous and entitled. This is not right. That is not right. It should be like this. I can begin to say, okay, what wasn't right in the past? So what would be what I want now? So if that's what I had and I didn't want, what would I want to have now? What is the essence? I want to feel respected. I want a woman who will respect me. You understand? So these are the features. I don't know who that woman is. You get what I mean? I only know the essence of why I want to get married, spousal satisfaction, and I know what I want to feel. I know what's important to me. Some information I can get from my past of what was good and that I would like to be in the upcoming relationship. And I want to become aware of what wasn't good, that I can become aware of what would I have preferred instead and energize that. I'm also listening to Ashraf talking about all these things and others talking about things. I didn't realize that women can be fun or men can be fun and playful. And before I wasn't this singing, dancing guy. Now I'm a singing, dancing guy. You know what I mean? And people who are light-hearted. I'm different today from who I was. So today, these are other things that I would like in a woman. Instead of a woman saying, "What's wrong with you, behaving like a child again?" You know what I mean? I don't want that. What would I want? A woman who admires, say, "Wow, you're so playful and you're so much of fun," and who can be playful. I want some serious auntie, taking a shit out on me. You know what I mean? So, this is what you got to do. This is how your magnetics change. When you become aware of who you are, what's important to you, what's going to suit you, who's going to suit you, what you want out of it, it does take work. And that's why I said you can start off with the intention of, I intend to uncover, my spousal preferences. I intend to discover why I want to get married, what it is about a partner that is attractive. I want to clarify my essences that I want to feel. I want to be attending. So you got to sit and you got to think, you're going to be married to the person, not me. I'm going to be married to the person, not you. So if you are going to be in a marriage, what is the reality you want to have? When you get up in the morning, as you go through the day, before you go to bed at night, every week, every month, who are you? How are you spending time with this person? Now, the more you know you and what you are about, how you are with you, your body, your life, then you can know, I walk every day for an hour. Either my partner must be walking with me for that hour, or she must be supporter of walking. Or she's going to tell me, where are you? Where are you going? You're going to walk again. You're mad or something. Where, what you think you are. Which men walk? You think you're a whatever. Indian men don't walk. What you think you what? All that. So, no, I don't hear all that. If I say, look, this is how I eat. I don't eat that. This way. You think what you think you are. We are Indians. We eat curries. This is how my mother taught me to cook. I don't want to hear all that. I'm not saying that you mustn't be that or something. But I'm creating. If you love your Indian curries and you love, not getting exercise and all that, that's good for you. You'll have a man, I'm sure, who will love you, who wants you to be like that. You get it? But I know who I am and what I want. I want to have a person who looks at me and admires me and says, wow. I don't want a woman to say, what? You're working again the weekend. You're a workaholic. I say, look, I lived half my life plus. I got a destiny. I want to leave a legacy. I'm going to give a lot of time to my work, at least in the next 5 to 10 years. What? We want to go on holiday. I said, you know what? We'll be going on holiday. Our whole life will be a holiday in 5 years from now, because we'll travel the world and teach people and promote the work. No. You are just there, you're working, it's Saturday, you said you'll be done at 3:30, now it's 5:30, you're still here, you're not here yet, oh no. No, I want a woman who's in this, to say, this is purpose. This man is helping other people, is helping the society, is helping the world. We support him by. I'm not saying that I must take a woman and make her this way. I'm saying the woman who has these features will be attracted to me by the will of God. It will happen. You get what I mean? So this is how you adjust your energetics. You got to sit with pen and paper. You got to be intentional. You got to say, if I am married, if I was married now, what would be the ideal experience I'd be having? What would the guy be happy with about me? What would I be happy about him? Why do I like him? Why do I want to be with him? Why do I look forward to spending time? What do we do together? It's like the other relationships I had, but it's better. How is it better? Put it in paper and pen and clarify it. That's what you got to do. Instead of being spousally self-abandoning, future self-spousally, instead of focusing on a man, focusing, I'm not married, I'm trying to get married, focus on you, your future self as a wife, focus on the lived reality you want to have, focus on the marriage and the enjoyment of the marriage to the degree you want to have, how it suits you and fits like a hand in glove. Begin to clarify it. Then we can intentionalize it. Then we can energize it. By that time, your energetics has shifted completely. But this is a process. You got to do work. I got here in my life by sitting with pen and paper and energizing, clarifying, intentionalizing, energizing. That's how I got here. Everything I created in my life, I sat with pen and paper and said, okay, if I got up that morning and I was in that reality, what would I see? What would be happening? When I was working at the school, I had an idea. Imagine if I could be at home, not waking up in the morning and going to school and doing some private consultations from my pajamas. I had an idea. Pen and paper, wrote it down. I want to work, not getting up at, 5 in the morning to be at school at 7 o'clock, to be there with the students and enjoy myself, but I'd rather be at home and, waking up a bit later and doing clients on my own time. I had to create that. Then it happened. It doesn't just happen. Oh, one day things just got better and better for Ashraf without him participating in it. You got to have the energetics. You got to set your energetics in motion. The energetics will create your reality. As Dr. Strange was told in the movie Doctor Strange, the first one, we draw energy from a different dimension and we use it to make magic. So when you go into the multi-dimension and you get into the feeling essence and the features and you're thankful and you're grateful and you're in that reality like it already is, you are in a different dimension. You are actually drawing energy from a different dimension. And while you are in this one, but at the same time you're in that energy, that is a spell. That's magic. And suddenly things start changing in this world. Get what I mean? You got to do the work. Energy. Shift energy. So, at this point, that's what I'll say. Do this. At a later time, I will address other factors around it. Like if you have a pattern of disappointment. But first you must do this. Because sometimes somebody can have a pattern of disappointment. They end up saying, nobody wants me, I'm not loved. And these kind of barriers can kick in. But first you must do this. And work it. And if there is a barrier, we can clear it. But you can't clear the barrier if you don't do this first. If you can do this, you don't have a block. If you don't do this, you do have a block. Because a block keeps you in the child mode that you can't do this. But if you sit and do it like Antonia did it, she took the pen and page and she said this, she clarified it. And it wasn't fantasy. It was her thinking as an adult woman, what would suit me for who I am in my life that would add to the quality of my life. It's not fantasy. You're not fantasizing here. You get what I mean? You are saying, as a real human being, thinking about a real marriage with a real man, this is the real experience that can be. It's like realistic for you. Like it was realistic for me that I could stop working for the school and work for myself. Like it was realistic for more. It must be something that is not fantasy based. I'm not going to say, you know what, I'm going to marry the supermodel and everything's going to be happy for the rest of my life. That's fantasy. It's not about the form. You've got to get into the responsibility for you. What's the purpose for marriage? What you want that you regard as energetic essence. What the features are. What is enjoyable. So if you can do this, you are in an adult state. And that means you're not blocked. But if you can do this and you still experience some difficulty going forward, then that means there are barriers. You're not blocked, but there are barriers. And we can address these barriers, no problem. We can address it, but you've got to do this first. If you don't do this, that's a block. If you do this and you've got problems, there's barriers, we can help you release the barriers. So does that assist you? Are you getting something out of that? Thank you so much for that question. I see it's all good there. Okay, anybody else has any questions? Anybody else has any sharing? Anybody would like to tell us, like, what they got out of this today? If you want to, you can let us know on the chats. I'll be very happy to hear it and get feedback from you. I'd really like feedback, like to see from the recognition of your being premaritally self-defeating, if you can begin to see, the experiences you've had and how you've created them, what it's like for you to hear this, and now to realize that there's another version of you. You can be premaritally self-enhancing. I'm showing you how. And are you able to do it? Or do you got some stories and you're stuck there? If you're stuck there, let me know. I can see how I can support you. But if you can see it and you can say, okay, it's me. And that's the role I've been playing. I haven't created. This is how I create. And I'm creating. And you take pen and paper and you start doing this. It means you're not blocked. And you do it and you clarify it. You have a dream. You have an ideal, compelling vision with the essences and the values and the features. And you can enter into that reality. Then we can intentionalize it and energize it. And then it comes to pass. Your energetics have changed. Your reality is not the same because you're not carrying the same energetics. All right. If there's nothing else, thank you so much again for that final question. And thank you everybody who stayed to the end. 2/3 of us made it all the way to the end. That was very good. Okay, we got a hand. Let's hear it. Acknowledge Rabia, who's by my side around this project, who might not be getting sufficient recognition, because every day we are talking about this. Rabia and I are talking about this every day, and a lot of the ideas are spurned by her. She's truly a godsend in this teaching. And, she brings things up. She tells me, I like that and I like that, and he gives me ideas. So, although I have the knowledge, to deliver it, it does take, it's a challenge. And like with Rabia's everyday sharing and discussions and building this project, these ideas are made more understandable for you. She had a whole wall full of big pages, and discussing it, and we sit and look at it, how we explain it. So this whole thing has been a creative process itself. I had the dream, I put my heart into it, I felt it into existence, and I witnessed with the support of people like Rabia and Tonya and Adina, it's coming alive. So I'm glad that where we started off with Adina and I talking about the bee and the flower, that how you attract, that be the flower and the bee will come to you. Now today we know more detail than ever before. It has been explained what it means to be the flower so that the bee can come to you. That you don't have to go looking for a man and rushing for a man and wondering about a man. You just be the flower. You just know who you are, what your spousal preferences are, the energetics of essences, the features of that relationship, the purpose. You clarify it as much as you can till it takes on a life in your own imagination, that you start entering in it and start living in it and energizing it every day. And that's the flower. And suddenly you see the world around you shift and change, and you too then begin to experience the magic that I have in so many different areas of my life, and my students have experienced in so many different areas of our lives, where we creatively, with and through God, bring this into being. I want to tell you, I am not this intelligent. I want to be honest with you. The things that I'm sharing with you, they don't come from me. They are divinely inspired. So, but what comes from me is my sincere intent. You see, I'm intent to create this body of knowledge. I'm intent to support you. I am, jazzed about it. I energize it, that I want to give you my best. I have a dream, and I have an intention, and I energize it, and I pay attention to it. And Rabia will tell you, sometimes she'll have to tell me, right, I'm done with ASL, don't talk to me about ASL anymore. Because I can talk about, I keep energizing it, and I keep energizing it. And then what happens? We have a day like today. You know what I mean? Where everything just falls into place. So I work the teachings work. I've taught my brother, I've taught other people to do it. They work the teachings work. And you can do the same. And I'm just grateful that, you have more clarity on how to proceed, to be more focused on the dream and the dream as real than what you think is really happening, rather than what has happened and what is happening that you think is real. We make the dream more real, and the dream becomes more real. That dream will be lived by us in this world. This is a spiritual fact that I'm telling you. I'm teaching you metaphysics here. You're very fortunate people to have a man like me. I don't know if you all know that. Psychology, metaphysics, spirituality, religion, science, everything coming together and giving you the best of all disciplines. But anyway, thanks to God for that. So thank you for that message of appreciation. I receive it fully, and I'm grateful that we can do this for you and other women of the world more and more, and that's great. So thank you so much, and that's it for me for today. It's now 5:52. It's 8 minutes or so from 6 o'clock. We'll be in touch. Bye for today. Have a pleasant evening further.